That's appropriate. We were doing Mario last time.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, man. Are you ready to jump on some Goombas?
Yeah. 78. Hi. Welcome back.
Hey, it's We Were Gamers, a show about us talking to you on a podcast.
Hey, you know, you've suggested Giant Bombcast to me a bunch of times.
Yeah, I like that episode, or that show.
I actually just listened to the most recent episode just to get back. I needed some palate cleanser audio. I've been listening to too much like news and other stuff. And I listened to it, and I don't know if you listened to it, but it looks like we were 2 weeks ahead of Giant Bomb on just about like every breaking news story.
Yeah, there are actually, that website does 2 podcasts a week. They have an East Coast office and a West Coast office, and their one podcast comes out on, I think, like Tuesday, and then the other ones come out on Fridays.
And I didn't check if we beat the other one.
Yeah, it's not really worth beating. So it's like it's not a race, man. Like, we're not here to.
No, you're right. It's all about quality. That's what we're here to stand for.
That's right. We are the professors and the heights of quality.
How was your week?
My week was good. You know, we had a nice little Halloween get together here. A friend of the pod, Michael, showed up. It was nice to see him again. And some other friends down in our area had some good drinks and wore some costumes in a silly manner.
Nice. Must be and you know what, this is going to come out. This is going to come out, and I don't think that we'll get a chance before then. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, it is my birthday relatively soon.
Usually you have the Halloween party, and it's part of your birthday week.
Yeah, since usually my birthday is the day after Halloween. In this case, it didn't make sense to hold a party on a Tuesday.
No.
So we're not doing that.
Right on.
But yeah, it's good. You know, I got my fiance and I dressed up as Murlocs. It was very silly. There are pictures out there on the social media.
Apropos.
And I'm going to be wearing that Murloc onesie to my work Halloween event. I
mean, you should really bring it to BlizzCon.
No, I won't be doing that.
Come on, man.
It's very warm.
You'll fit in.
She wore it, I think, for like a couple hours and then took it off because she was dying of heat. So I'm going to be putting it on for the costume party and then taking it back off at work because it is too hot.
Gotcha.
So that's my plan. How has your week been?
I have a good story and a bad story.
All right.
I'll start with the bad story because I want to know your opinion on the good story. The bad story is, you know, just it was a rough October overall in terms of just the amount of deluge of uncontrollable aspects of life, wildfires, car accidents, all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's a rough couple weeks for anyone.
Well, it didn't let us get all the way out of October without, you know, just one last little knife. Have you ever had your credit card stolen, JJ?
I have never had my credit cards stolen. I've lost my credit cards and then had to like cancel them, but they were not stolen. Yeah,
somebody got a hold of the number. Actually, while we were at that hockey game, and started.
Oh yeah.
Started hitting iTunes with some fun charges. That was a great time.
So, you know, what does one do in that case? Let's give some advice.
Okay. Advice for everyone. A lot of companies, credit card companies, give you a lot of different options for how close to monitor your activity. And some really are monitoring without bugging you. Like Amex is really good about that. And they'll catch stuff really fast even though you don't notice it. And then some like Capital One and Citi, I think, are more active in engaging you. And one of those two, I can't remember which, allows you to like basically review every charge as it comes through. You just keep hitting yes or no in a notification on your phone.
Okay.
So this got hit, and it got hit with, you know, like 5 or 6 charges in a row. And then, you know, the company, I don't remember which one, it doesn't matter. Anyway, they, you know, sent out a thing. It was like, hey, have you spent like $600 on iTunes in the last 5 minutes? Like, No, actually, our iTunes card is a different card than that one.
In a surprising move, we don't buy $600 worth of music, movies, or whatever in 5 minutes.
I'm assuming it was some sort of free-to-play game that they were downloading, $60 card packs or whatever.
Or they were buying gift cards because the gift cards can be exchanged for other things.
Yeah, something. So that got shut down real quick. But then, of course, it's the card that gets used for everything on the internet, including all the bills and everything else. So it's just come on, man. Really? Another thing to deal with this month? Not fun.
Yeah, that sucks.
It is, however, fantastic to be fixing all these things online while watching the Dodgers and Astros play. I don't know if you're into baseball.
I have been watching some World Series baseball, Andrew, and I'm glad that you brought it up.
This whole month turned around for me watching that game last night, which was October 29th.
Oh my God. Okay. We got Andrew. You enjoyed it? I mean, it was very exciting by the end. If I wasn't trying to stay awake desperately.
How could you be falling asleep?
The game was so long, Andrew.
It was the second longest game in World Series history.
5 hours plus. Oh my God. I couldn't deal. It was so long.
But watching a team and go, you know what? I bet you right now we're going to see another 3-run home run. And then it happens. Come on, man. In the 10th inning.
It was pretty cool to watch all the hits and stuff. You could make some criticisms about which pitchers they decided to send out or whether they should have sent certain people out or whatever. But it was a nail biter at the end, even though I think everyone on the field was just happy to have it over with, regardless of.
Yeah.
It was.
I don't know.
I think we were all happy to have the commentators shut up. Is really what it was about.
Yeah, well, I kind of mute them. They don't generally have much to say.
You're correct. They didn't.
That is, there's fun little factoids at the beginning and ends of the games usually, but most of the time they pop those up in the little text box. But I don't know. They've all been games like that, and I know you don't usually watch baseball, but I had to mention it because it really watching this is. A lot of people are like, well, it was so boring until the 9th inning. It's actually, it was a pitcher's duel until it was a close game until when all the home runs started happening. But
yeah, once the pitchers all got tired, basically.
Yeah, but baseball might be 1-0. It also might be 13-12. Or you can get both of them in one complete game.
Yeah, it was a good game. We had it on, that was the previous game. But we were watching it. I do generally watch playoff baseball. I'll at least turn it on and check the score and kind of see how the game is going. And I did watch the conclusion of that game after having turned it off in the 5th inning and said oh, this was good. They had some nice scores at the beginning and then it was a nice pitching game. And then I turned it off and then I was sitting back down. I turned on the stream and I was like, why is this still going? It must be, extra innings. Cool. And I look at the score and I'm like, wow. And then the commentators come back on and they're like, we don't know what time it is. What's going on? What do we say about this person?
Can you imagine being an Astros fan?
You could hear the fans in the stadium getting tired. And they're like, it's an exciting moment. The count is full. And you can just hear the guy going yeah, woo. And no one else in the stadium wanting to cheer. They got excited eventually. But it took them the ramp up was a nice 3 minutes to get people excited again.
They were very caffeinated or very late to work the next day.
Yeah, I think they said the end happened at 12:30 or 1 o'clock Houston time. So yeah,
beautiful.
Really late on a weekday.
Yeah, it's baseball. It's playoff baseball.
It's the World Series. I don't think anyone's going to complain about you, coming in late to work because you were at the World Series.
I know a lot of people don't care about baseball, but if you've ever thought I don't get it, or I don't think it's exciting, or I don't think baseball is any good, I don't know. These last 5 games and probably the next 2 are probably the best you're going to ever see. I don't know if...
Let's hope for the next 2.
It's not going to mean a lot to a lot of people to say they're both 100-win teams, but it means a lot in the stats of baseball because 200-win teams haven't faced each other for 50 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's a heck of a good team on both sides. You know, I tend to dislike the Dodgers during the regular season just because we live in Orange County, but I dislike the Astros more. So go Dodgers, I guess. But
I think my parents are having a great time. My dad sort of raised me and grew up as a Dodgers fan. So
yeah,
and the Dodgers have been bad. Gosh, most of my life, I think.
Basically since like 1989.
Right, yeah, pretty much, right? So
they won a World Series and they started stinking immediately after.
Yeah, pretty much my entire life. They weren't contenders, or haven't been contenders since I was in eight or something. And then, they made it to a playoff game and then lost immediately. And then that was the last of that. So,
yeah.
It's good to see. I think the fan base is ready for something. They certainly haven't been to a series, like you said, since '89. So it's good. The games have been good. We've been turning them on and tuning in. It's been exciting.
Yeah, it's been good. Anyway, so that's enough about baseball. I think we should get back into video games. That's what we're here for, ostensibly.
In theory,
I don't say
I guess.
ostensibly on this too much, I think, but I like that word.
I don't know. I mean, I guess we're here for video games, but we're kind of just here. So we could be here for video games. I'll be here for video games. Wait, who? We're missing someone?
We're missing someone, and I think we should bring them in now.
Okay.
Agent Z. Should we do some more Agent Z?
Yeah,
He's been playing that Knights of the Old Republic game for us, which you and I have played at least 6 times between us, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. I'm
gonna hope that you can account for 2.
Yeah, at least 1.5 for sure. I have memories about 1.5.
All right. Well, he's been playing Knights of the Old Republic, and we got some good feedback last time doing a live listening. But usually we've been listening to him beforehand, but this time we're going in cold. We don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be really funny, I'm sure, as most of them have been, because I don't think he's enjoying it that much.
It didn't seem great, the last one we checked in on, so we'll see how this one goes.
So here it goes.
All right.
What is he doing?
Yeah, what is that noise?
Zero Cool back with Knights of the Old Republic. And can I just say...
Oh, no.
I hate underwater suits. They really, really are proud of themselves for this underwater suit. And
it's like the metal boots. It's got to be metal boots.
The sound of him walking.
We're listening to this literally for like 10 minutes. This is my character plodding through very slowly through the underwater depths of this water world base.
He's really having a bad time.
I didn't, Oh.
Who's there?
Who's this guy?
You're not cell-capped, I can see that much. Are you another rescue crew?
No.
No.
Isn't it obvious? The
Sounds so
cell-capped have gone
demoralized.
insane! They're killing everything that moves! All my companions are dead. The cell-caps... Oh,
Okay.
I discovered a way to get to the bay and seal off the rest of the base. I just have to find the KotOR harvester they built on the edge of the Hackert Rift. It's got an emergency override to open the door.
Okay,
I
let's
figure
go
my
find
only
it.
chip besides.
What a bunch of gobble.
I'm not spending. I'm head. We should
What a
probably.
bunch of techno babble.
Yeah.
All right.
He's got no patience for the voice acting either. He's just like, nope, we're good.
Gosh. This is so slow. So slow.
Really? But I should have known he would care about sound design.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. I think it was secondary in their list of concerns making the game.
Oh, jeez. All right. Something's happening.
Come on, hurry up! Don't just stand there. We have to keep moving. The water is filled with cow.
Oh my god.
Is that a Wilhelm scream?
What are those things?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it was.
Whoa. And I don't have any of my weapons. So I guess I'm just supposed to dodge them? A Raksa.
We should have had an equipment tutorial.
Raksa. You're coming this way. I'm going the other way. I don't have any... I can't... Because I'm wearing the underwater suit. I don't have my weapons. Oh my gosh. He's chasing me.
It's ominous.
Yeah, it doesn't sound great.
And that is the end of me.
Oh no, he died.
What the hell? Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I haven't saved in a while, so
Such sad music.
whatever just happened.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Oh no, what did we say about saving, Andrew?
I know, right? I have a feeling the next one's going to be, well, I had to go back for 20 minutes.
We gave him such high marks for saving so frequently in the last one, and looks like the old nemesis has reared its head.
And I don't think that one has a quick save button. It's kind of an old game. Oh boy. I hope he doesn't have to go back too far. Well, we'll find out next time, I guess.
Yeah, it sounds like he's making progress though. He got to the underwater section.
I just feel like I hear his voice and it sounds more and more depressed.
Yeah, he didn't seem like he was having a great time last time, and this didn't feel better.
Oh, hang in there, Z. We're thanking everybody.
Yeah, you can do it. We believe in you.
Yeah, right on. It's too bad. I have a question for you.
Okay.
Before we get into the upcoming event, I saw some news and I want to just get you a quick take on it. IGN bought Humble Bundle.
Yeah, isn't that a really interesting and weird thing?
What and why?
So, I mean, there's a couple angles you could come at this from in terms of what it means. So, I guess first to explain, IGN is ostensibly a website and a
they're like the original Nerdist.
No, I don't know if I would describe it that way.
Not a complete version of it, just like the original idea of we had this website and now we're going to try and create a community.
Yeah, they're a very popular video game website where they do both, journalistic type things, advertisements. They produce news and that sort of stuff.
They went through a phase where they tried to be like Maxim.
Right. They had a magazine for a while. I think that's sort of dead, but they still do online print media kind of stuff. They produce video content with people talking over videos of whatever. They do they have podcasts and shows and that kind of stuff.
They have community outreach and they go to events and stuff like that too.
Yeah, and they're a big website. They're one of the biggest. They're still one of the very few websites that does a lot of the old school kind of video game stuff where they'll publish a piece about their first look at a game or something, where a lot of websites don't do that kind of traffic anymore.
Yeah. Now they're owned by they're a second subsidiary. They're a subsidiary of a subsidiary. So really it's Ziff Davis and whoever else owns them bought this other company and then they stuck it under IGN for some reason.
Right. So they're owned by a big conglomerate or whatever. And Humble Bundle is this charity-ish kind of publisher of games. They're a storefront where they sell games. The original idea of which was these bundles, which were sort of pay what you want. Up to, starting from $1 up to however much you feel like paying for, a few various copies of a game or a few different games, and then they would have if you pay more than the average, you can get these. And so it sort of incentivizes you to beat the average, which then raises the average and, kind of incentivizes you to get on it early and get all these, sweet, cheap games. And so they've been doing that thing for a long time. They've now set up a full store. So, they're sort of a Steam or GOG competitor. And, they publish games. So if you are a person who has created a game and you wanted to put it for sale, you could go to them and they would, publish your game digitally and you could sell it to people. So it looks like IGN bought them to get into that side of the business as opposed to the part about where the money from your purchase would go to charity, which is sort of the other thing that they were doing at Humble Bundle. I'm sure they won't discontinue that portion of it because why would you? That's the thing that people know about the website.
Yeah.
But it seems like they're in it to get the profits from the sales as opposed to the very little profit that I think is generated by the bundles. Although the bundles do generate large amounts of traffic, and traffic is a good way to get sales. Some number of people are going to buy something if they are on your website for another reason, right?
Right. It's just a question of why overall, it doesn't seem like they have the infrastructure to do this. If they're going to actually run it or if they're just going to own it. I don't understand why just own it.
I don't think they would choose, at least in the short term, to do anything different with it since it seems to be working just fine.
Yeah.
Don't kill the fatted calf or whatever. It's doing just fine. Leave it alone. But it's another stream of revenue for that company. Something that they were not in. They didn't have their finger in that pie already before. And this is just something completely on the side that they can just use to, pay for whatever other stuff they're doing, I guess. That's the only thing I can see from it that seems good. It does create some kind of weird incentives, though, for if you're a person who works for IGN and say you're publishing a news story about a video game, which maybe their store sells. Does that impact your own sales if you say the game is bad? So, kind of some possibly suspicious motives there. They say, oh, we have this, very strong line against editorial and our, marketing or whatever. But, it's never good to give people those looks.
No.
So, an interesting thing. It was definitely out of left field as far as I could tell. No one was like, oh, IGN is going to be the people that are going to buy them. Like, what? No one thought that. Yeah,
and I couldn't really tell what was happening there because it didn't really seem plausible. Why? There's a lot of why, and I never really thought about the point you just brought up, and that's a good one about do they review their own released games better or on their platform?
Well, they're supposed to be a marketplace, so I'm sure they sell all the games, right? But then do they list IGN's score of whatever on this game? It creates some weird kind of marketing,
almost conflict of interest. I guess.
But conflict of interest for who and how is that? I don't know. Who knows? It's not like these guys are out there actually doing payola or something. But it is a weird. If they're all owned by the same company, does someone from up above go hey, you need to review this game well. They're gonna sell millions of copies on our storefront and also buy all these ads on our website. We should and that's kind of weird.
Agreed. Okay. Well, you had kind of the same take I did. It's weird, and we don't know why. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. I sure hope they continue doing the bundle stuff. The bundle stuff is the coolest part of that website, and you can get a lot of really great games for not a lot of money.
And it really does help raise a lot for charity.
Yeah. Yeah. That stuff is all really cool. And the games that frequently are on there are awesome games. Don't just because they don't look like your, AAA, expensive $60 games, they are cool. There's great stuff on there frequently. So people should check that out.
Yeah. All right. We shouldn't waste any more time. I'm going to see you in a very short amount of time. And we're going to be going to this tiny little mom and pop shop event.
Small indie company.
Indie company. It's when Kamikaze, the first year of Kamikaze or whatever, there's this thing called BlizzCon happening.
Yeah, BlizzCon in the new and expanded Anaheim Convention Center.
Which may or may not have more parking. I have no idea. We'll see.
Who knows anything about the parking? No one can say, but I have seen the floor map, Andrew. And it is different.
Huge.
They definitely move stuff around this year compared with previous years that we have been. So I'm interested to see how all that shakes out.
Let's talk about where they put Hearthstone.
So there is a new hall that was built for this convention center. They're calling it the North Hall on this map. And Hearthstone is basically the entire first floor of this North Hall.
Mm-hmm.
And on the floor above it, there is their kind of like fair, Dark Moon Fair area and some of the smaller event stages.
They stuck it kind of far away. And looking at the floor map, there doesn't seem to be much going on with the Hearthstone space.
Well, I'll tell you what's going on with it. They're going to announce a new expansion. There will be a demo area for the Hearthstone expansion. Undoubtedly, it will be very similar to what we've seen in previous years.
Which means it'll basically be empty.
It has been that way after the first day or so.
Yep.
And then there is an area for an esports like tournament and stuff.
Now, am I wrong? But there's no global championship for Hearthstone this year.
Correct. Well, I think there is a Hearthstone Global Championship, but it's not
there.
happening.
It'll be at the new facility, which we should try to go to.
Are they doing anything there, though? I don't know that there's anything there this week.
Oh, I don't think it's started yet, but that Hearthstone Championship will be at the new facility, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we could try and go to one of those. That would be fun.
Yeah.
But they are doing some esports stuff with Hearthstone this week. They're doing something called the Invitational, INN Invitational, which I guess has been Hearthstone ins that have been competing against each other in some kind of tournament.
Oh, okay.
So that is happening. And then the finals of that Tavern versus Tavern thing is going on. And also there is this invite tournament where they've invited a bunch of personalities and they are having kind of like the Challenge Stone thing, which they've done in past years.
Yeah, that was great last year. It was real refreshing to watch.
It sounds like that is the whole tournament.
Okay.
And so they're having a big tournament with a bunch of personalities and other invited players for a fun show thing. So I don't really know what that's going to be about. They haven't really said much about it other than, hey, it's happening, and that they will be announcing a new expansion, which we all knew.
Yeah, no reason to hide it.
Yeah. The virtual ticket is going to get you a free golden legendary. Are you excited about that?
I assume from the new expansion when it comes out?
Unclear.
Okay.
They could do like the ETC thing where it's
yeah,
you get a golden one and other people can craft the regular one, or who knows?
Maybe.
Or it's just a random golden, it's a specific one. They've told you which one it is, but we don't know what the card looks like yet other than the art. He seems to be a pirate. So that's cool. I think the bigger story than what they've done with Hearthstone is what they haven't done with Diablo.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Diablo, Andrew? Do you still like that game?
Oh, I mean, I haven't booted it up in a long time.
Right.
But I don't think that that's a value judgment on a game. I just think it's like, I don't know what Diablo has to offer me. This is a longer thread of thought than I want to give to it at this point in time because I haven't really delved into this. But we talked 2 weeks ago about games as a service and about loot boxes and about just endless content that,
right,
in a way, like the one reason I've liked the last year of Overwatch and really look forward to what they're going to show with Overwatch this coming year, what they're thinking about doing is like the stuff they've added to Overwatch. Yes, there's loot boxes. Yes, there's, if you play every week or every day, you can like make sure that you're up on the loot boxes and you can get your golden blah, blah, blah if you do every season. They also, though, are doing things like, hey, here's this cool nonchalant mode, and it's like completely different than everything you played in the game, you know, like TD or,
right,
you know, all the cool event-based stuff they've done.
Here's this wacky Halloween-themed single-player thing.
Exactly. So Diablo hasn't, they've just been like, hey, we opened up a new monster area with some, like, there's new tiles over there. It looks different. And, like, there's maybe a boss or something.
Well, what if I told you there were only 2 panels scheduled for Diablo, and they were both like community like outreach panels and nothing whatsoever about the actual game?
That was it last year, and you could kind of get that feeling. I think looking back on it, it was kind of like, hey, we kind of like have this last bit of content that we're going to put out, you know?
There's a tiny demo area on their floor map, and then there is a like I said, 2 panels on those small community stages.
Yeah,
and that's it.
And so
it's like
Diablo,
the game may as well not be one of their franchises. It's for the presence that it gets.
And that's kind of how Diablo has been, right? Like Diablo 2 was huge and was always kind of a background presence. And
they released that Necromancer thing just last year, though.
I understand, yeah.
So, or earlier this year.
Earlier this year, I know.
It's just dang. It's a rough time to be a Diablo fan.
But adding a character to the same thing, right? It's not like when they added the character, they're like, and here's a whole new story for this character that you can play through.
Yeah.
Or here's a whole, new dungeon or a whole...
you get the story of the Necromancer if you play through the regular campaign, but you're still just playing through the regular campaign. It has he has his own cutscenes, but it's like also you had to pay for the Necromancer, right? Right,
yeah. I don't know that I would care about the Necromancer's cutscenes in the original game, right? Like if they'd said, hey, you're playing through the same maps, but like it's not the same story. The Necromancer's following behind the main story, or he's ahead of the main story, or something like that.
Sure.
Like here's this added reason to play as the Necromancer through the main campaign, and also here's this new character that you're going to play the Necromancer, and here's this new mode. It seemed like it was just kind of like there were like 3 pieces missing from the jigsaw puzzle, like the Diablo remake, the 1 remake, and the extra character, and and they just kind of like plopped them in there last year. But it's still the same game, which is a problem on a lot of their games, which is just kind of like it's just go on and get more stuff, but they haven't really changed much.
Yeah. So I wonder what they're going to do with that franchise going forward. I bet we hear nothing about it whatsoever this year. They are not going to... It's too early for them to have anything to announce. So, I wonder if this is just a year where they don't really have anything to say about Diablo, and then maybe next year or the year after they announce some kind of new thing, if there is a new thing.
The thing that they will do, that was they shouldn't do, but I have a feeling that they will do because they usually do this, is they'll talk about the great things that happened in Diablo this year, and it'll be like the Necromancer and this and that and the seasons and the what we changed and did, and it's like, just guys, just let it go.
Don't rub it in.
Don't even try to make it a deal like where you're like rah you
get people excited for nothing, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of back padding for something you back padded for last year.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
Right,
so, we'll see. I think the convention is going to feel kind of empty this year. They've moved a lot of stuff around such that there's now going to be a lot more open space.
I don't mind the open space. They've definitely expanded a lot of areas, like their jobs area. I don't know why though. And
they're not hiring anyone at the convention, so
no,
I don't really know what that's about.
I don't know. I don't get that either. The interesting thing to me was that World of Warcraft is like front and center again.
It has a huge stage again.
And a huge demo area again.
Yeah, so you wonder what that is. Are they going to have a big thing to show again that's going to be really popular? Or were the wait lines just really long for the one last time and people got mad?
I don't know. I don't think so, but because I know people that went in and played that a bunch of times, and they didn't complain about the lines. The Overwatch line is the one that everyone complains about every year.
Sure. Because everyone wants to do the new thing with Overwatch, right?
Well, absolutely. And I don't even play Overwatch that much, and I do.
Me either, right? And I want to do it, so.
Yeah. The thing I'm excited about is that Overwatch is now in the arena.
Yeah, so they moved the StarCraft 2 finals out of that arena onto a different stage.
Well, StarCraft 2 is kind of dead, so.
Well, they still do their World Championship Series for that. But, yeah, it's not doing the numbers it used to. and they are doing the Overwatch League thing that was in that tiny little cool stadium last year. They're now doing that in the giant arena stadium this year.
Yeah,
so
I think
maybe
they really
people
underestimated Overwatch last year.
Maybe people will be able to actually see it this time.
I would love to. I think that'd be really cool.
I have heard that spectating that game can be rough, but maybe they will have some fixes for that for this, and it will be cool. Who knows?
I mean, that's such a big room. Maybe they can put up everybody's screens or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how they would do it. I have heard from people that say that if you don't know how to play Overwatch, watching Overwatch is very difficult.
Oh, okay.
I feel like that is the case for a lot of esports, though, so I don't know how that's really unique here.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Like, why has no one complained about CSGO with this, right? Like, CSGO is just as impenetrable if you don't know how to play it.
Well, it's not a game
they're just shooting guys, right? Well, you're just shooting guys in this, too.
And at least you're always engaged. It's not a game like PUBG where you're kind of just like, I'm watching you stream and you're just sort of running around.
There's stuff. There's stuff going on in PUBG. You know, it's kind of like a slow tension thing in that game. You know, there's 100 people and you all kind of get compressed into an area over time. Whereas this is more of a like round-based, match-based kind of thing. You know, because there's a score. There's your team needs to win this round to get the point or whatever kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then each map is, its own thing as well. Which hero are they going to pick? Which hero are they going to use? What strategy, etc. So, I'll be interested. We'll watch some of it for sure and see how that goes. I'm interested. It should be fun.
What's the thing you're most excited for?
I am still a big Hearthstone fan, so I want to hear what they're going to do with that. I will probably like to watch some of that wacky Hearthstone thing since they, had a good time with that the last time they did one. So hopefully that's fun.
Yeah.
I'll just be interested to see what kind of stuff they announce. Are they going to announce another World of Warcraft expansion? Kind of seems like it's about due, right? It's been a while.
I think
are they going to do more, like other new announcements?
There's no like mystery area. There's clearly nothing.
Is there ever though? Like, do they just have a big question mark on an area on the map? Like, I don't feel like they ever did that even.
The first year Overwatch was out.
The first year Overwatch was out, though, it wasn't on the map. There was just a big blank space where there was nothing written.
That's what I mean. So there's nothing there like that this year where it's like, look at this giant dead space. I wonder what that could be.
Yeah, sure. So you wonder, like, okay, they're probably not going to announce some big new tentpole IP like Overwatch, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay, but like, what other ancillary stuff are they going to announce? Is there going to be some kind of weird new mobile thing? Is there going to be some kind of, like, here's a series of movies, or are they going to do, who knows, man? Their fingers are in so many weird places. Who knows what they're going to come up with?
So there's you bring up a really good point. Like, they own a movie studio through Activision.
Those guys aren't just like sitting twiddling their thumbs, I'm sure.
They've been making Skylanders cartoons and stuff. So where's that news been? Because it was been 2 years since they announced that, and then it was like at a presser upstairs, and they didn't tell anybody. So like,
that movie came out and flopped. That's what happened.
Well, no, but like they don't. Oh, you mean you're talking about World of Warcraft, the movie?
Yeah. Okay,
but they also own a movie studio, them and Activision, where they make cartoons and stuff.
Oh, okay. I don't know what. Does Activision own it, though, maybe?
Yeah, Activision Blizzard owns it.
Yeah, but Activision Blizzard is Activision.
But so, like, where's the announcement, like, hey, we're doing an Overwatch thing, and it's going through the studio?
Well, I mean, then you're asking Blizzard Studios to collaborate with people outside of Blizzard Studios, and I sort of think that Activision Blizzard thing is kind of like there's Activision over here and Blizzard over there, and never the twain shall meet.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I don't know that they've got the bandwidth in the cinematics department to be like, let's make a TV show.
Oh, I certainly doubt that they do.
Right.
Which is why I'm saying that's where that announcement is. It's over on the Activision side of telling you about Skylanders, a fine Activision property.
Right, okay. But they did it at a BlizzCon. They announced it at a BlizzCon.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. Huh. They announced the studio, Activision Blizzard Studios, opening up and doing Skylanders. They did it at a press thing upstairs.
Huh.
So, it's been 2 years since that. Where's Blizzard's like, hey, we're using this new studio to build this. Everybody loves the freaking shorts they're making, but they can't keep up with the bandwidth of doing a TV show, and they have the opportunity. So maybe that's an option for like a thing that doesn't have space on the floor. Yeah. I actually wonder why there's no Destiny 2 at this event.
Again, that's an Activision property.
It's in the Blizzard launcher, and they promote it. So
an Activision property made by a studio owned by Activision, not Blizzard, and this is a Blizzard-focused convention. So I get why it's not there, right? Because the people putting it on didn't have anything to do with Destiny.
Okay.
It's in the Blizzard launcher because this is cheaper, and Activision keeps all the sale money as opposed to going through Steam or whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's a business reason there as opposed to like a brand synergy reason.
I'm somewhat shocked that they didn't push to have Destiny 2 stuff.
Yeah, I actually sort of expected there to be a little bit of it, and it's kind of nice to see that there isn't.
I don't disagree with that statement. I just, I wouldn't be shocked.
Who knows? Who knows what other stuff we'll see? Maybe that will be one of the announcements. Hey, there are more games coming to this Blizzard launcher. Now you can buy Call of Duty through this. Now you can get, whatever other Activision stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That would be an interesting move.
If they have a bunch of announcements about the Blizzard launcher.
Yeah, I mean, they did recently put out a nice update to it on the PC, which I like. The Blizzard launcher now has a lot more sort of social functionality, which is cool.
I think maybe the thing I'm most excited for is the stuff around BlizzCon.
Yeah, there should be some cool stuff going on.
The concert and the usual special release beers and the possible special bar events or
that's
or hanging out with people obviously that come into town.
So the concert this year is a band named Muse. Andrew, do you know this band?
I do.
Okay, do you like their music?
Uh-huh.
I can't name any songs that they've done.
Black Holes and Revelations, I think, was the biggest one that I know.
Okay. I'm sure I've heard some of these songs, but I can't put any fingers on anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Starlight, that's a good one, I think. That's probably all off the same album. They had that other album, possible. Knights of Sidonia. No, that's another song on that same album, I think.
Are they the band that did that Knights of Sidonia song?
Yes, they were. Uh-huh.
Okay, I remember that from Guitar Hero or whatever back in the day.
There you go.
Okay, cool. Well, this should be fun. It should be cool. They always do have whatever band or group or person they have perform has been good. So
I find it fascinating to see which of my friends... I've liked every concert but one, and I was even excited for that one concert. It just turned out bad. Because the artist didn't want to be there.
Which one was that?
Blink-182 did not want to be there.
Yeah, he didn't. He was really not having a great time.
No. He was just like, this is the stupidest thing. And the audience wasn't feeling it because he was not feeling it. But every show I have liked, including, ones that I didn't know that much about, like Weird Al. Like, I wasn't a huge Weird Al fan, but like, it's been interesting to me over the years to see who I get texts from the day that the artist announcement is. Because it's always only the people that are excited that text me.
Yeah.
And every year it's somebody different that texts me who the artist is before I get to look it up, and I think that's fascinating.
I'm always interested in the announcement just in general because I already know I'm going, so I just want to know who's going to play.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't really have any. There's only like one genre of music I would probably refuse to see, and I think they would probably refuse to have it, so it's not really ever going to be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always just interested, like, which side of Blizzard is winning this year, right? Is it the like more like heavy metal, like, hard rock side, or the more like contemporary, kind of closer to pop music side? Yeah, and it seems like those two sides are fighting every year for bands. It's like one period, like, we're having Metallica, yeah,
that was a great year.
It was great. It was great. And then the next year, they're like, okay, that was way too hard. Let's have like Blink-182, who, like, they're definitely rock music, but it's not Metallica, right? So it's cool. I'm interested to hear them. I'm sure they'll be great because every band so far has been great. So
yeah. except for Blink-182. So good.
Yeah, I mean, I had a good time at that concert, even if they weren't great.
I enjoyed listening to them play. They didn't play poorly. Well, he can't sing worth a darn.
That's not his fault, though. It is his fault, but his fault over the past 20 years. He's destroyed his vocal cords.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't want to rag on him too much, but it's definitely by far the worst one.
At least in terms of the performance, for sure.
Yeah. But anyway, I know that we'll record during BlizzCon. I'm sure that'll be our next episode out on the following Wednesday with a wrap-up of everything we saw, since we'll probably live tweet at least the announcements, and we'll have social media stuff for anybody that's interested while we're at the convention.
Follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, Twitter, Instagram, and we'll try and get out some news and stuff while we're there. We'll record a few minutes. We'll see how long it is, if we're super busy and enjoying ourselves, or if we're bored and just end up talking about why we're bored.
Yeah, there'll definitely be stuff to talk about for sure.
Absolutely. All right, real quick, any fantasy football complaints? I don't care anymore.
You've just given up? Man, wow, harsh. There's a lot of weeks left.
I know. It's just a bad week. It's just a bad luck everywhere. Both teams just really? Dak Prescott got how many points? Come on.
He did bad.
6 points. What are you doing? I got 40 on my bench thanks to Deshaun Watson. What is that about?
Andrew, if you were enabling of partial points, he could have had 7.3.
Okay, never would have won.
That's a lot more.
Even if I'd made every correct decision, I still would have lost by 20 and not 50. By the way,
it's a bad feeling.
Basically broke 100 points and still lost by that much. So I don't know what to do about that. But that's about all.
You got wrecked by the best team in our league, so I don't know what
the guy who's running away with it. Yeah.
Well, Ezekiel Elliott's suspended
now.
Yeah, so now he's going to start. He's going to start losing now.
Yeah, maybe.
Look, man, all you can do is try to beat his position to get higher in the rankings. That's all you can do.
Yeah, sure.
So I had some rough games this week. Going into the game tonight in one league, I had 70 points, and my opponent had 134. I lost.
Yeah.
Big surprise there. But I did gain a good number of points, like almost 30 between my two players. But yeah, that's 2 hot weeks in a row I've lost by giant margins in that league. So that feels real bad. 2 weeks in a row, the 2 highest scoring teams are both against me.
Yeah, it doesn't feel great. And that's kind of why I was like, let's just move on. But
it's rough.
The Broncos game was ugly tonight. I don't really want to talk about that. There is a little bit of news. Jimmy Garoppolo just got traded to the 49ers.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That happened this afternoon. They were talking about it on the game tonight. That was some left field stuff right there.
That's a mega trade.
For a second round pick.
Well, it's a mega trade because Kirk Cousins was up for that.
Oh, Kirk Cousins was up for San Francisco's spot?
Uh-huh.
I mean, he was playing for the Redskins. What did they
Well, the Redskins, he's on tender with the Redskins.
Right. And so he was angling for it next year.
Yeah, he's on tender with Washington, so he was angling to go to the 49ers where his old coach from Washington is. So then they went for Garoppolo. That's interesting. Anyway.
I mean, I think it's a smart move on their part because Kirk Cousins going to want to get paid.
Yeah.
And this way they don't have to pay him.
Right. Yeah. Jimmy Garoppolo.
Assuming Jimmy Garoppolo is
peanuts.
Yeah. Right. He hasn't had a chance to really start because he's been living in Tom Brady's shadow for 100 years.
I can't believe that the Patriots let him go.
I am surprised because now if Tom Brady breaks his hip in the next game, they have no one. I don't know who their backup is. So they must have someone, or like there must be some plan formulated by the evil masterminds over there.
Colin Kaepernick's available.
Hey, Colin Kaepernick's available. I'm sure that would go over well with their fan base. But who knows, man? Who knows? If Bill Belichick says it's good, I'm sure they'll believe him.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get out of here.
All right. Well, if people want to send us an email about all of the wonderful stuff that we're going to see and do at BlizzCon.
Yeah, if you want us to check anything out at BlizzCon, if you have questions that we can try and get answered by people at BlizzCon, because we can finagle our way into some rooms and stuff and try and find out some things.
Yeah, we'll pretend to be people that are supposed to be places. And you can send those questions to podcast@weweregamers.com, a real email address. Or send them. You can add us on Twitter or Instagram. We'll watch those feeds and try and get the information out there as well as post some cool pics and whatever that we end up doing. And our Facebook page, of course, will get the updates as well. So make sure to follow us on there.
Right on. Until BlizzCon.
See ya.